My name's Laura Garrison-Brook, and this is Death Contemplation number 3. And if you have come in and not done 1 or 2, that's okay. It's okay. These are all amazing questions that can stand on their own. And Death Contemplation number 3 is that death will come whether you are prepared or not. And I'm reading from this PDF, which I printed out, written by Joan Halifax Roshi. And if you're like me and you like reading things on your own, you can grab it in Circle. Yoga and Life Talk with Laura is where I posted the link. So, and all of these contemplations are from an amazing Tibetan monk who lived in the 11th century named Atisha. So thank you, Atisha, for your continued service and wisdom to those of us here. So coming to your mat. Oh, I didn't get our music started. Coming to your mat, feeling the feet rooting down. And as I've said to you, and as I will say to you every single day, soften those knees. And for those of you who aren't messing with your phone to get music started, let's inhale those arms out and up. Reaching up, lift up, stretch up in your Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale and dive down, coming down into your Uttanasana, forward fold. Hey Siri, open YouTube. Just hang out in this first forward fold, soften those knees as you need to. Allow the body to just hang heavy. Releasing the arms down, roll the head on the neck. And what's important here, as we migrate our way through these contemplations, we're on number 3, and we have 6 more left after this. So, if you're in a place where something hits you and it makes you feel kind of tender, maybe a little bit, possibly even overwhelmed, if that's the case, then I invite you to take care of yourself always. Inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. And exhale, release back down into your Uttanasana, swaying it out. Hey Kato, hey Ellen. And then inhale those arms out and up, reach up, lift up, stretch up. Feel yourself getting light from the waist up, lifting up out of the pelvis, and then arch over. Doesn't matter which direction. Bracketing the top wrist with the thumb and forefinger of the bottom hand. And then go in the other direction, stretching that top arm over. Breathe, breathe, breathe into that lung, into the side waist. And then inhale, reach up, stretch up. And again, swan dive down. Soften those knees, head hangs heavy. Right? Maybe roll the head. Inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. And exhale, come on down. And float those arms up, reaching up, lifting up. Come up onto the balls of the feet. It's amazing how just balancing on the balls of your feet takes a lot of balance, sometimes more balance. So roll those shoulders back and down as the palms face, reaching up. Good balance on the balls of the feet, good focused gaze. And then float those hands back while you're still on the balls of the feet. Clasping the hands behind the back, roll the hands down, settle the heels down, soften those knees, and come into your Yoga Mudra. Bringing those arms overhead if this serves the shoulders, if this serves your body. Breathe in here with the knees soft, and you can just chill here. You can be like, yeah, this is good, I like this. Or you can straighten the right knee as you just kind of dip the hands down to the left a little bit, looking to the right. And then soften both knees, come through center. And then do the same thing on the other side. Straighten the left knee. Drop the hands a bit to the right and look to the left. And then come back through center. Release those hands down. And let's take the hands into fists and just lightly tap the sacrum. Have this feel good. Don't beat up on yourself, y'all. Okay? Have this feel nice. Tapping the sacrum. And then getting out onto the side hips. So Joan Halifax writes, life is short, and most of us will meet our death without having strengthened our awareness of our true nature. And then start to take these tapping hands down the outer line of the legs. And then up the inner line. That might mean that you kind of have to walk your feet apart a little bit to give yourself space to tap, tap, tap up the inner line. And then down the outer line. These are meridians. This is the gallbladder and the kidney meridians. I always forget which is which. Outer and inner. It's supposed to be very good for us to tap down the outside, tap up the inside. And then hands on the sacrum, and just as if you're wiping, you're dusting yourself. Dusting off the cobwebs. Sweep those hands down the back of the legs. Sending yourself love. Sending these legs love. Okay? And then hang down in your forward fold. Inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. And then handspring the foot, step that right leg back. So Joan asks us, how much time do you now spend training, strengthening, and stabilizing your mind? When death comes, do you think that you can negotiate with it for more time? Drop that right knee down. Someone once said that we have 1,300,000 thoughts every day. How many of these thoughts are you even aware of? Allowing those hips to release down, relax the shoulders down. How many of these thoughts are about liberation from suffering and death? How often do you remember that indeed death will come? Set those hips back, folding over that leg. Toes stay down on the left side, just waking up the legs. Inhale it forward. How often do you turn your mind towards the commitment to prepare for death? Death is undiscriminating, right?
Welcome. I think
Contemplation. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So that was me. This is what you're hearing right now. Sorry about that. I didn't expect that to happen. That was the contemplation number 2. Death contemplation number 1 is up on YouTube, and that's contemplation number 2. That's yesterday's class. So if you've missed some of the classes, Marley, I see you're here. Yay! If you've missed some of the classes, you can check them out on YouTube. So breathing into your Ardha Hanumanasana, breathing into the back of the leg, stretching out the back body, and then inhale it forward. Okay. Curl the toes under. And Joan says, up until the time it comes, if we are wise, we will be mindful of death. Right hand comes down. Something she said yesterday really landed with me. I mean, more than one thing. Left hand is on the left knee, twisting open to the left. She talked about how these contemplations help us have a gentle death. A gentle, and she used another word, gentle and easeful, something. But, you see so many people, right, fighting during those last moments. Drop that knee down. And plug the hands in. Bring the left knee back to the right. Stretch those arms forward. And come on down. Pressing the hands in. So again, the contemplation for today is death will come whether you're prepared or not. Whether you're prepared or not. And as I was thinking about this class and what we could discuss, breathing here in your down dog, walk your dog out, settle in one heel down and then the other. I was thinking about, when we take a trip, you can think about death is like the biggest trip we're ever going to take. And when we take a trip, we prepare, right? We prepare. We think about what we'll need. We think about where we're going. We think about what we need to pack. And you might be kind of like, Laura, I don't need to pack anything. Coming into your plank pose. Well, that's true. I don't think you need to pack anything, but you probably need to unpack some stuff, right? In order to prepare for this trip. Breathing in your plank. And if this is hard on your wrists, you can come down into forearm plank. Listen to the body. Breathing into the strength of the belly. Another breath. And come on down. Hands under shoulders. So this contemplation, Joan says, ask yourself, how do you spend your time? What really is important to you with this precious human life? Inhale, lift up under Bhujangasana. Exhale down. She goes on to say, we spend so much time sleeping, eating, drinking, grooming, playing, working. We conduct business, we make and spend money and tend to our relationships. And when we're dying, we might wonder, what have I done with my life? Stretch the hands forward, coming back into your puppy dog stretch. Press the hands in. In the words of Jodi Picoult's character, whose name I've forgotten, from the book of Two Ways, she says, she's a death doula in this book. She says it's often only at the end of life that people take stock and see the shape of their lives. Tailbone rises up and heels and come down, rolling the head on the neck. Breathing here into your dog. And then step that right foot forward. And yesterday Wen made the suggestion of writing your own obituary. Talking about, looking at the shape of your life. Writing your obituary and talking about, what are the highlights of your life that you've done so far? Let those hips relax down, release down. Most of us are doing so little to prepare ourselves for death. This contemplation reminding us, set those hips back, toes stay down on the right. Death will come whether we're prepared or not. Encourages us to take care of life now and prepare for death. Inhale it forward. And I know that for so many of us, thinking about, well, I'm going to spend my life preparing for death? Really? Exhale it back. But I think, it doesn't have to be grim, right? Exhale back. I think, I mentioned yesterday that if I have 50 years left of living, I'm currently 51, and my resting heart rate is 60 beats a minute, which is, average what it is. That leaves me 26,280,000 heartbeats. Again, exhale it back, toes rise up. And I started thinking about these heartbeats almost as if they're currency. Breathing into the back of that leg. And then curl it forward, coming forward. Allow the hips to release. Did we twist to the right? I can't remember. We might have. Let's bring our left hand down. Let's twist to the right. I think we did.
Or maybe not. I get so focused on what I'm saying. Another breath. And then hand comes down and step it forward, coming into your forward fold.
So I started thinking about these heartbeats as if they're currency, as if they're dollars. And you can start thinking about, okay, if my heart, inhale those arms all the way up, reach up, lift up. If my heart is like a ticker, a counter, and it's counting down to 0, where my heart will stop beating. Because that's going to happen to all of us, right? That was one of our first contemplations, is that everybody's going to die, including us. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, dive down. So if we start thinking of these heartbeats, which are numbered as currency, inhale, arch up halfway. Maybe we start thinking about how we're, quote unquote, spending our heartbeats, spending our time. I'm spending, that's going to take me, all right, y'all. Oh my gosh. I should have done the math before I had this conversation. That's going to take me, 2 hours. So that's however many heartbeats that is. 60 a second. 60 times 60, 3,600. That's an hour. 7,200? 7,200, I think. So one rises up, that bag's heavy. Lift that right leg up. So it's the equivalent of $7,200. I've got $26,280,000 to spend. And come on forward, arching forward. Bring the knee in towards the nose. And then lift that leg back and up. Stretch it up if you like your three-legged dog. And then bring that knee into the nose again, crunching it in. And inhale, lift it up. And now bring that right knee towards the right elbow. And lift it up. And then bring that right knee across to the left elbow. And then lift it up. And then step it forward. Coming into your Vira-1. Float it up. Virabhadrasana 1. And step off. Coming into Bakasana. Good grounded energy. So maybe then you start thinking more about how you spend your time. When you really think about it as, and I think that this is at the heart of these contemplations and the fact that life is finite, is we stop using our life as a waiting room. Because that's what so many of us do, right? Especially during COVID, right? Breathing here in Vira-1. And the reality is, for a lot of us, that's made sense. We're kind of hunkered down, we're staying safe. Step off onto that right foot. Both hands come down. Lift that left leg up. And then Jiva squat. Tucking the left knee behind the right. And while that was very appropriate, while we were kind of cocooning in our houses, watching Netflix, doing whatever you did during that time, it's effectively, for many of us, created some pretty bad habits. Because, in the words of Adam Grant, step that foot back, a lot of us are now languishing. We're not depressed, we're not happy, we're just kind of blah, right? Breathing here in our Vira-1. And open it up into our Virabhadrasana 2. Lengthen your stance. Hips are now facing the long edge of the mat, long left edge of the mat, shoulders down the back. Breathe here. Straighten that leg and glide into your triangle. Whew. Right hip tucks underneath. Arm reaches up. Breathing here.
And then you can add that side angle arm if you'd like, if that feels good. And then drop that arm down and around like the arm of a clock and float it up. Death comes for us whether or not we are prepared. That's our contemplation. So what are we doing to prepare for this ultimate trip we'll be taking? Coming into your down dog. Walk your dog out. Now your choice. Child's pose, resting in down dog, or flow with me through a vinyasa. Breathing here in your plank, feeling heat build in the belly. Building in the belly. Come on down. Wen says, breath is currency helps me because it can be conscious. Hands under shoulders and lift it up. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, lift. Well, and we think about spending time, right? Spending time. But so often we get into this place as if like our life is infinite. You know, which we know it's not. Of course we know it's not. But, you know, that's the mindlessness, right? Inhaling, lifting up, and exhaling, calming down. But when we start to think of our heartbeats as finite, when we start to think about our heartbeats as in we are spending so many heartbeats, of which I have a fixed number, maybe then it starts shifting us. Maybe some more height to your Bhujangasana for those in the Vinyasa. Breathing. It starts maybe making us shift the way that we think about spending our time. And, oh, Jackie, I just realized I didn't respond to your post about go big or go home. My apologies, I totally meant to do that. Yesterday was really busy. Palms pressed down, coming into your Anahatasana. So in circle, you know, I mentioned the whole go big or go home phrase, which is not a favorite of mine. Curl the toes, lift the hips. And in circle, Jackie mentioned, well, you know, for my family, it was inspirational because it focused on us living our lives fully, which is what we're talking about here in yoga, right? Tailbone rises up and the head hangs heavy. So I get it. And Jackie, I appreciate you saying that for some, it can absolutely be inspirational. Float that left leg back and up, stretch it up, reach it up. And we're going to do those lovely crunches. Yay. If this is hard on your wrists, or if you're just not loving this, you can come down and do crunches, you know, like on hands and knees. Coming up the midline, and now we go out toward the left elbow. Inhale that leg up. The thing that I don't love about go big or go home, especially working with youth, is it feels like there's a strong shaming element to it. And youth are already so often measuring. Go ahead and step into your prep for 0-1. They're so often measuring themselves according to social media. So the whole go big or go home, I think puts them in a kind of scary headspace. So Jackie, good for you and your family that you didn't go there. So what I was starting to say about spending your time is let's not slip slide into this sense of being frenetic. Breathing here. You know, and Anand talks about stepping off onto that left foot. Hands come down into our standing split, floating the right leg up. Anand talks about how we're often seduced into this idea of be busy, 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 because that makes it out like we're important. Coming into our Jiva squat. And inhale that leg up. Exhale down. Right? Oh, I'm so tired. I shuffle into work with my Starbucks in hand because I'm just so busy. I was up so late doing blah, blah, blah. You know, or, oh, I'm just running around because if I'm not busy, what does that say about me? Does it say that I'm not in demand? Does it say that I'm not important? Right? One more. Jiva Swat. And then inhale that leg up. But the reality is, float this up. This is an amazing study that I learned about. I forgot the school that it took place at. Breathing, hips are squared forward. It was a study that was done with doctoral students who were theology students. So these were primarily people who wanted to be ministers. We didn't do Yoga Mudra. I don't think we did. So coming into our Virabhadrasana 2. So they wanted to be ministers, and they were told, as they were showing up to class, breathing here in your Vira 2, and then straighten that leg and glide into your Trikonasana. Come on down. That they were needed to teach a class across the campus. The teacher, or the TA was sick, and they had to hurry. If they left right now, they'd just be in time for class. They had to go. Go, 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 go. So they rushed across campus, which I guess had one central kind of corridor thing. So their path from point A to point B was very clear. And there was a student along that path who was in distress. Breathing here in your Trikonasana. Add your side angle arm, palm down. Breathing. And then float that arm down and around and come back up into your Vira 2. And the numbers were really staggering. I want to say 65 or 70% of these students did not stop. This student, there's no way they could have missed seeing this student. Okay? They did not stop because they were in such a hurry. Hands either side of the foot, and come on down. So, by virtue of the fact that they were so hurried, they did not live according to their values, to their deeply held principles. See, everyone rises up and the head hangs heavy. Allow the brain to drain. So the reason that I mention this now, while we're thinking about our heartbeats as currency and how we spend our time and living fully, this tension of, go big or go home. Your choice, coming either into child's pose or coming with me through vinyasa, is that when we don't allow ourselves time to be mindful, to reflect, inhale, arch up into your Bhujangasana, we often wind up out of alignment with our values. I just had a momentary glitch in my brain because I just looked over and realized my computer is running very low in battery. That would be bad for me to lose you all. Here we go. Okay. Whew. Right? All right. Coming down into your child's pose. Palms face up. That would be a rude ending to our class. It would make me very sad. Breathing here into your child's pose. So living your life fully does not mean jamming more stuff into your life. Trust me on this, okay? It doesn't. It means making more mindful choices so that you're choosing to do what serves you best, what's in alignment with your highest good. And developing the skill sets to, 1, discern what those things are, and 2, make space for those things. Breathing here. Another breath. And then coming up, plugging the hands in. Oh, you did, Ellen, yeah. Yeah, exactly. walking the dog out. They might have repeated it with monks. I heard it with doctoral students who were theology students. I'd love, if you have the numbers, I'd love for you to share that, if you can surface that study. I love that kind of stuff. Breathing here in your dog. Another breath. Float that right leg back and up if you like your three-legged dog. Otherwise, just stay in regular dog. Crank it open, fire hydrant pose. Stretch and open the hip. Another breath. And come on forward. Into your Vira 1. Actually, let's come into Anjaneyasana. So keep the back heel up. This is deeper than Vira 1. Okay? Really breathe into the hip flexor on the left side. And inhale those arms up. Reaching up here in your high crescent. And then let's twist our crescent so our left arm reaches forward, our right arm reaches back. Havrita, Havrita, Anjaneyasana. Inhale those arms up. And then drop that knee down. Exhaling. Inhale left. So you're posting up and down, kind of like you're on a merry-go-round. You're feeling it, aren't you? I'm feeling it. And if you just go down an inch or two, that's awesome. And then hands either side of the foot. Step it back. Jackie's told me more than once. She says, you know I call you lady with love, right? Jackie says, posting is killing me, lady. Oh, I love it. Left leg stretches up, reaches up. Crank it open. Fire dog. Fire hydrant pose on this side. Square that hip. And step it forward. Anjaneyasana on this side. Now remember, if Anjaneyasana for you is like really tough, then come into low Anjaneyasana. And do the blanket thing on the knee if your knee's crunchy on this side. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful back bend, a beautiful heart opener. And you're like, yay, I'm down. She can't make me post if I'm down. So if you choose to, posting up and down. Right? Now make sure that that left knee is right over the ankle, not beyond. Taking care of our ACL. One more. So good when it's over. Walk your legs out. Tailbone rises up and head hangs heavy. Whew. Roll the head and the neck. My heart's going bang, 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 bang. Widen those knees, touch the toes, sit back. Child's pose. Oh, you heard it in a Tara Brock talk. Nice. Yeah, if you can find it, Ellen, I would love to, I love Tara. I would love to hear that. Sitting back in your child's pose. Breathing here. Allowing the breath to steady, the heartbeat to slow. Another breath. And then walk it up. And let's do Supta Kapotasana. Now, if you're like me and you've got a wall that's easily accessible, I invite you to come to the wall. Okay? Because doing reclining pigeon at the wall can be really sweet. Whew. So coming onto the back and get close enough to the wall that you can put your left foot on the wall. So for me, my thigh is pretty perpendicular to my torso. My hips are pretty open. So for you, you might need to scoot yourself that way. You might need to scoot yourself away from the wall. If you do this and you're like, oh no, Lord. So now the right ankle comes onto the left knee. And then grow your sacrum down. Your sacrum is supposed to be on the ground. So if you're kind of curled up like a ski slope, or something, like a ski jump, then scoot yourself away from the wall. Again, right ankle on left knee. And I like to put my right hand on my right knee and kind of push the knee away. And check in with the neck. Make sure your neck is down, your chin is down towards the heart. Shoulders are flat and evenly grounded. Hips are flat and evenly grounded. So do what you need to kind of wiggle yourself around to find that sweet spot where you can just easily breathe into the hips. Right? Breathe, washing the hip, letting go of tension. What are you doing to prepare for the ultimate trip? The ultimate trip that we'll take at the end of this life. How, when you ask yourself that question, what's your response? And if you're like, oh, I've never thought about it, well, that's brilliant. You're thinking about it now. Another few breaths. And then glide that right knee on top of the left. You can hug those knees in. Maybe, if it works for you, we'll take reclining cow face pose. So maybe you grab your right, the outer edge of your right foot with your left hand, the outer edge of your left foot with your right hand, and kind of draw the heels in towards the glutes. See how that feels. Just breathing into the body. Again, make sure you're not doing anything weird. Like I could feel myself arching my chin up, so snuggle the chin down, relaxing the cervical spine, i.e. the neck. Another breath. And then allow those feet to come down, and then just drop the knees to the left, that way. Now what I should have said, and I didn't, I'm sorry, is if you don't have easy access to a wall, you can totally do this without the wall. So my apologies that my brain was thinking about contemplating death instead of your experience with the poses. So let's come on back up. Again, hug those knees in. Now, if you're in a place where you can't put your foot on the wall, this is what I should have said on the first side, you can totally just have the leg float and just draw the knees in. So you're not using the wall, you're kind of grabbing with both hands, and you're grabbing the shin or the back of, for me now it's the right leg. Okay, grabbing the shin or grabbing the thigh. Again, snuggle the chin down. If you're at the wall, you can continue to use the wall. Flex that left foot. So you're pulling the toes back. And if you like, put your left hand on the knee and glide the knee away, squaring the hip. You'll feel as you kind of play with bringing the knee in and pushing the knee out, you'll feel how that shifts the hip opener. And scan the body again. Roll maybe the shoulders up and then glue them down, bring the chin down towards the chest. Maybe kind of wiggle your hips closer to the wall or farther away, depending on how much your hip is chirping. Closer to the wall makes it more intense. Farther away from the wall makes it easier. Breathing here. So with this ultimate trip, preparing for this ultimate trip, well, we don't truly know where we go. You know, we can have beliefs based on our faith of where we think we go. But at the heart of it, we want to think about unpacking, right? It's the biggest trip we'll ever take, and our work is focused on unpacking. Unpacking. Getting rid of the extraneous. Another breath. And then bring those knees in. Cross the knees over. Now it's my, still the right hand gripping the left foot, left hand gripping the right foot, pulling those knees in. This is like a Supta, Gomukhasana, reclining cow face pose. Breathing into the hips. Another breath. And then float the knees that way, to the right. Looking to the left. And if it's too deep a twist with yourself, with your knees kind of wrapped like this, you can have it be, just keep the pumpkin. You can just have it be knee on knee. Listen to the body. Another breath. And then come on up. And come on to your mat. If you're like me and you kind of got off ankle, just get yourself all relaxed. And come on down. Melting down into your Shavasana. Relaxing down, releasing down. If you took off a layer or two and you want to put it back on so that you'll be nice and toasty, you can do that now. Just allow yourself to melt down into comfort, whatever your Shavasana looks like. Listening to the body. And as you're laying here for the remainder of our time together, asking yourself, how do you want to spend your time, your energy, your resources? Thinking about those heartbeats as currency. How do you want to spend your heartbeat currency? Is there a way you can truly benefit others and yourself? What kind of practice will strengthen your mind? What can you do to wake up in this life? What can you do to wake up in this life? And what kind of practice will ground you down into this awareness? Now I'm sitting up, but the rest of you, I invite you again to sit, to lay down into the Shavasana of your choosing. Strengthening your mind so that you don't shy away from this challenge of seeing your future death. Embracing the thought that yes, this life will end. This life will end. How can I stop using my life as a waiting room? How can I transform by knowing that this life will end? I will die. How can I use this knowledge to make this life even sweeter? Knowing that it's finite. So breathing into those questions, whichever one resonates most with you. Allowing yourself to marinate in silence in Shavasana. So some more quotes from Rumi, who's been with us on this journey. The quote that I've read every day, which I love, is, "Our death is our wedding with eternity." And then Rumi goes on to say, "Death has nothing to do with going away. The sun sets, the moon sets, but they are not gone." He also says, "Every mortal will taste death, but only some will taste life." And then lastly, Rumi says, "The world is a playground, and death is the night." So is the world our playground? All of us will taste death, but how many of us will taste life? Those are our contemplations of how we wake up to the knowledge that our life is finite, that death comes for us all. How do we transform this knowledge into our ability to truly taste the sweetness of life? That's where death becomes our ally, our greatest teacher. Another breath. And then as you're ready, bringing movement back to the body, whatever that movement looks like for you. And with no sense of hurry, rolling over onto the right side, cradling the heart. And then carefully press yourself up into an easy seat. Gently sway it out, wrapping the arms around yourself. Breathing here. Breathing into the wisdom that this contemplation hopefully has started to uncover within you. For the questions that you know, like, okay, I don't know the answers to those questions, but ooh, they're good ones. Bringing the hands together, rubbing at the heart. Building up some heat, some friction. And then floating those hands apart, seeing if you can feel the energy between the palms. That's wuji in Chinese. I love that, wuji. Feeling the pulse of that energy. And then welcoming that warm energy into the heart space. Right hand rests on the heart, left hand cups the right. And flow that loving, healing kindness down into the heart. Breathing here. This beautiful heart. Knowing that one day this heart will be still. And you will transition and go elsewhere. Another breath, and let's inhale together and Om out.